Hello everyone and welcome back to a new video. I am finally back with my Milwordy month experiment stats video, and it's been a while now. It's been a bit over a month as I'm filming this since I wrapped up the experiment, and I remember in the final days of it being very excited to share my stats. But now that it's been over a month, I'm like, yes, why was this going to be interesting? Why was I so excited to share these? But I'm back nonetheless. I promised a stats video, and I also feel like I've just forgotten a bunch of the categories that I could talk about. A bunch of the stats I could give you, but here we are. I'm just going to share what I have. If you have any other questions about any other stats for the experiment, ask me down below and we'll see if I tracked it somewhere. But for now, this is what you get. Now, I've got my trusty laptop here with me today to look at the graphs I've made and try to decipher what I mean by them. And we're going to put the graphs on the screen for you as well. The first one is days I wrote versus the days I didn't write. And I wrote for 15 days out of the 28. So that is the blue, and the orangey red are the days I didn't write. I also want to say that I had a lot of issues making these graphs. I couldn't change the colors of anything, and that is going to be a problem as we progress. But yes, I wrote for 54% of the days and not for 46% of the days. So it was a fairly even split, which we can also deduce by 15 out of 28, where 14 would have been 50%. So there's that. Next up, let's do word count per project that I worked on. And it would have made an awful lot of sense if I'd put the word count in this graph, wouldn't it? But here you go. Here's a percentage. Anyway, 36% of the words I wrote was on Simon and Noah, so that is the wordiest project, the project that got the most words out of me in these 28 days, parentheses, 15 days. Yes. The second largest at 34% is the Assassin story, which I started very late in the month. I haven't worked on it since, but to be fair, as I'm filming this video, I haven't worked on any of them since the month of February wrapped up, so there's that. But 34% was spent on the Assassin story, and most of those words were written at the very end, the last 3 days of the month, because I had fun. 19% of the words I wrote was for Alex and Lexi, which was a new project I started during this experiment. I did not finish it, just like I didn't finish any of the other ones either, but I did have like a page of notes before I started and then dove into it. The Assassin story I had no notes for previously, and Simon and Noah I was 37k or something into, I don't remember. I said it in the video, which is going to be linked up above. The third one in the lineup is Freya, which I'd written 2.7k out of before. It's the companion story to Simon and Noah. And 8% of the words that I wrote in February was on that project. And then I've actually combined a few different documents into just notes. I transcribed some notes on the Siren story, the witch stories, and just a few other random notes I had lying around. I compiled these and put them into a few different documents, yes, but I did digitalize them, and 3% of the words I wrote in the month was of that. Now we're entering into having some issues with the graph, and also adding more issues in as I'm looking at this graph right now, but I will have that fixed for you on the screen. This is the word count per day that I wrote. Here I was smart enough to put the word count as the number showing instead of doing a percentage. However, what I'm looking at right now does not actually have what day is the biggest one, what day I wrote the most amount of words, but I will have that fixed for you on the screen right now, so you can look at that for yourselves. But there were 4 days that were over 10k, and then a fair few that were between 1500 and 3000 words. So the vast majority of the days were between 1500 and 3000 words, but 4 of them really stand out because they were so big. Also not showing on this graph are the 13 days where I wrote 0 words. Those are not here. These are just the 15 days that I wrote. And maybe that is a bit misleading, but this is how I made the graph. Just be happy there's a graph. Here we also have a graph of the time spent writing per day, but as a percentage of the total time I spent writing in the month, which is not super smart. I don't really know what I was on when I made these graphs. I think I was just very tired. But if we compare this graph that I'm showing you right now with the graph I just showed you of word count per day, they are very evenly matched, which to me tells me that I was fairly consistent in my speed. I don't actually have that stat of how long it took me to write X words per day. If I break down every sprint, word count divided by time, and do that over all the days I wrote, is it fairly even? I don't know. But again, it's fairly evenly matched between time I spent writing and the word count I got out of it. And then the last graph I have to show you, me currently, not me in post, that I have to show you is this graph, which is sprint length. This is how many 5 minutes, 6 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and so on sprints I did. And this is actually how many of them I did, not the percentage of the total number of sprints I did. So I did 10 sprints, for example, that were 20 minutes long, 9 that were 30 minutes, and 8 that were 60 minutes. And again, I have the same blue and the same orange twice on here because I could not change those. But luckily, both of the orange ones are 1 sprint each. And I know that one of those sprints were 6 minutes and one was 90 because of the helpful little side bit of this graph. And there you have it. Those are the stats that I can share with you from my Milwordy month. Again though, if you have any questions about anything else I may or may not have tracked somewhere, ask me down below. I know that before I started this experiment, I had ideas to track a lot more things. How much water I consumed, how much sugar I had, what time of day I wrote, etc, etc. But that was something I decided not to do. I don't really know why, I just didn't really see the point of tracking every single thing. On top of also writing 77,000 words in a month. So if I do this experiment again sometime in the future, maybe I'll track more things. And in that case, let me know in the comments down below if there's anything else you'd like for me to track if I do another month-long experiment, be it a Milwordy one or not. But yes, looking back at Milwordy now that it's been over a month since I did it, I enjoyed it overall. It was definitely kind of exhausting, and that is my own fault, partly for doing a 30k in 15 hours experiment and also for leaving about 30k to write in the last 2 days of the month or something like that. It was a lot of words to write in the last 2 or 3 days. So not my smartest move, but I did enjoy it. I think maybe I'll do it again sometime. But again, I definitely haven't kept writing. I've taken a month off from writing. I don't mind it. This is usually how I work, with that I write a lot and then I write none and then I write a lot and then I write none. It's just a habit I've gotten myself into over the years, and I don't mind it as such, although there are definitely times when I wish I was more consistent, and I think my work maybe would be better if I was more consistent. But it is what it is for now. I'm not mad about it. But that is all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching this catastrophe of a video. I'll be back with another video soon, so I hope to see you then. Bye!